Genevieve, thank you. Well, in just about a month, convicted murderer Scott Peterson will head back to court as part of his quest to be cleared of the murder of his wife Laci and their unborn son. Now represented by the LA Innocence Project, the Modesto man appeared before a San Mateo County judge earlier this week, laying out part of his claim that Modesto police improperly withheld some materials from the defense and disregarded another crime that may be tied to the killings. Joining me now live for some perspective on all of this is one of his former attorneys, Laura Yaretsian, who has believed in Peterson's innocence since he was charged. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
First, one confusing thing about all of this for many case watchers is that the National Innocence Project, which has a stellar reputation, has distanced itself from this effort, which is under the auspices of the LA Innocence Project. Since the national group has drawn such a line in the sand here, should that immediately cast doubt on the merit of this effort? Because if not, why say, oh, this has nothing to do with us?
It shouldn't cast any doubt. They're not the ones handling the case. They're not the ones who reviewed the evidence. They are not the representatives of Scott Peterson, and they can distance themselves from it because, you know, we've got the Los Angeles Innocence Project, which is a different entity than the national, and I'm assuming that's why the national is distancing itself from it. But at the same time, you've got the Los Angeles Innocence Project, who also handles similar matters. What they do is they will take on cases of individuals who have very credible claims of innocence, and they can only take on so many cases, right? There's thousands and thousands of people out there, whether it be in LA or in California or elsewhere, who have claims of innocence, but they decided to take Scott Peterson's matter because they could see there is a credible claim here. They believe in his innocence. And since they've gone through his trial transcripts, the discovery that we had years ago, and the investigation that had been going on during conviction, before conviction, post-conviction, and since obviously the conviction, they are of the mind that there is an issue here. There's a credible claim of innocence, and for that reason, they have requested a lot of discovery.
Let me ask you.
Not just to go forward, it's a lot of discovery. It's 436 pages of discovery.
Okay, you've long thought that Scott Peterson was innocent, and part of the claim by the LA Innocence Project is that Modesto PD didn't provide the defense with all that it should have. Given all the rules about discovery and how much this case has been litigated to this moment, how is it really possible that there would still be significant items that the defense hasn't had access to?
Well, obviously it is possible because they've got, as I said, 436 pages of discovery requests. That's a lot of discovery. And every single item that they have listed, they have explained in a paragraph following that request why they believe that item exists. And sometimes they're referring to previous reports that were given to the defense. Other times it's information that they got as a result of investigation that was done by the defense or after the conviction. So they've got very strong arguments as far as the missing discovery. And we've got examples, and a lot of it honestly has to do with the burglars, the van, the orange colored van that was set on fire the day after Laci Peterson's disappearance, all the investigation related to the burglars of the house that was across from where the Petersons lived, the Medina's house. There's some a glove. There's a hammer that's got DNA evidence on it. Laura, the mattress is in the.
Let me ask you. This is asking for a lot. This request is asking for a lot of DNA testing. Obviously, that's going to be pretty black and white. It's going to be yes, it's there, or no, it's not. So it's your belief then that they must be pretty confident that her DNA might be on those items to be asking. And then if it's not, does his push for a new trial, push for innocence, kind of lose all of its legs if her DNA is not on these items?
Not necessarily. You remember, they're not only looking for Laci's DNA. Yes, it would be great if Laci's DNA is on, for example, the mattress or elsewhere, that they can connect to someone other than Scott Peterson, or that can show that Laci was in fact alive after Scott Peterson left their home the morning of the 24th of December. Now, but there's more to it. I mean, I'm sure that they're also looking for DNA related to others possibly on the mattress or in the van or on the cloth. There's also, other than the mattress, there's another cloth that was there. There's other pieces, again, that they're taking from the van that they want tested. It's not just the mattress, where there's a stain that looks like blood. But they're also looking at the tape that was, the duct tape that was found on Laci's body, the duct tape that was found on the Target bag that was near the body, the twine that was around baby Connor's neck. Again, they're looking for DNA in a lot of places, and they're also probably looking for DNA that may or may not match the burglars or others.
Okay.
So it's not just about Laci's DNA, in other words.
All righty. And it still, in your opinion, has legs if her DNA isn't found. We're going to have to put a pin in it there, but thank you so much for joining us this morning to give some perspective on all of these developments. And again, Scott will be back in court in about a month. We appreciate you.
Thank you for having me.